like a louder mic?
No, I think you need a louder mic than me.
Okay, so you've already given us a bit of an introduction, but could you tell us more about your journey in writing and getting published?
Okay, my journey into poetry started at a very young age, when I was still in school. One of the things that I used to do back then was we used to have Arbor Day, and I remember the first time that I actually started with this poetry was how to get poetry into this Arbor Day, and then the first thing came to my head, Arbor Day. So I used the first letters to start the poems. And the amazing thing about it at that time was the ability to get them to rhyme. And the fascinating thing is like I have never studied to write. I've never studied how to be a poet, but the words used to just flow out. And I think I've said this on numerous occasions. The crazy thing is that I was able to write these poems in under 5 minutes. So from there on, it just continued, but with work and with life, I guess you tend to take different routes and then you start focusing on life. But I used to still write, and from those days I had with me a hardcover notebook. And I remember it was a brown cover because it was one of my school books. And on it I had written at that time, Book of Dreams. And I used to pen all these poems in this book. And it so happened that around our reunion, school reunion, and we all got together and we put together a WhatsApp group, so technology works sometimes. And during that time there, we used to send out motivational messages to one another. And then it so happened that one day I wrote a poem and I put it up there. And a friend of mine, Wendy, she saw this and she was like, "You write quite good. And how much of these poems do you have?" I said, "Well, I've got a scrapbook if you want to have a look at that." And I asked her, "But why?" She says, "No, her daughter, Kelly Hariprasad, who's actually at that time joined Crest Publishers. Well, they started up Crest Publishers. And she introduced me to her in terms of maybe putting a book together. And I remember I had 30 poems that I had selected with regards to using it. When I asked her, how many poems do you require to do a book? She said, "Well, 30 is a start, but looking at the size of the book, it would be too small." And she says, "Okay, why don't you make another, make it 44? I said, "Okay, that can be done." And within a week, I had actually given her the rest of the poems, 14, together with the 30, and then we published the first one, which was Book of Dreams. And that was when my publishing journey started.
That one was my favorite. Okay, and what would you say inspires you to write?
In fact, inspiration comes from all around. I'm inspired just to wake up in the morning, to be able to see another sunrise, or to walk into somebody and see their smiling face. Listen to a friend who says me, "What a good day," or "What a bad day," and then how to actually change his thought frame, or maybe look at the weather and say, "The weather actually appeals to me today. Why not write about it?" So for me, my inspiration comes from just looking at this crowd here.
That means you must feel a lot.
Oh, trust me, it's scary. Yeah, I do feel a lot. I think at it was a Durban book fair where we had a book launch for my second book, which was Dreams of Life. And one of the challenges that came out from there was write a poem. Where's my slave Okay. So one of the challenges was to actually write a poem about the fair itself, or that book launch, and I actually did that. So yeah, life is all about it.
And what themes would you say you explore in your poetry?
Okay, when I first started, it was more about love, life. It was kind of like whimsical, and that was what I was actually told when it came to my books. And if you read the Book of Dreams, you'll find that it's all around a play of words, play of emotions, just enjoyment of life. So yeah, that was how I started. Thereafter, somebody asked me, "Do you only write whimsical poems?" So I said, "Why?" She said, it was actually windy again. She says, "Don't you want to challenge yourself and do something different?" And in Dreams of Life, that changed. So writing poems, as I was speaking to Noshad earlier, writing poems in 5 minutes changed. It now looked at how to get more in depth, more understanding of people's feelings, how to interact with regards to between your inner self and your outer joyful, playful self. So that merged, and then my poetry went from 5 minutes to maybe half an hour or an hour. And I'll tell you about the other one when we get there.
Okay. So I've read your books both, and there's poetry that covers so many topics. And as I said earlier, it's always something someone can relate to. What do you wish for your readers to draw from your poetry?
Exactly what you drew from it. I want ownership where you can take a poem and it'll read back to you. It'll give you that sense of like somebody has heard me, somebody has seen what's inside of me, and they actually wrote the way I feel. And it's maybe something you can't project or you don't want to talk about, but the poem will actually, it's out there, and you can say to the guys, you know what, hey, this poem here is about me.
That's wonderful, and I think you did a great job trying to convey that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So, has there been any challenges that you faced in your writing, in your publishing journey?
Challenges is something we all have to experience sometime or the other. And I will lie if I say I haven't. I am a bit of a daydreamer. I'm also hooked on these Korean and Chinese series. That is the reason why. I don't have writer's block actually. It's just that I can go home after, okay, I've got 2 jobs. And that was one of my biggest challenges. I work full-time in Toyota as a production manager and a quality manager. So those both are brain draining areas of a working environment. And when I get home, the only thing I want to do is kick off my shoes, put my feet up, and just relax. And what I found good is that these Chinese and Korean, because it just gets your mind off into a different wavelength.
So, have you never experienced writer's block before?
What is it? No, I haven't.
That's good.
I have experienced in the sense of where I start a poem and I think it's not going where I want it to go. So what I do is I'll just stop. I'll leave it and I'll walk away. And I think that's testament to something that Zubair told me that as well earlier on that he does when it comes to that. I think the thing about writer's block is that when you think too much about what is preventing you from working, it creates more of a problem than a solution. So clear your mind, just walk away, and that thought frame will come back to you because it's something that's in the back of your head. It's quiet, but it will make a noise. So you gotta give it that. For me, it's about the right time and the right place for anything.
And do you have a special piece of yours that you tend to favor more than others?
I do actually, but I actually had the opportunity of writing a poem for my own wedding. And the amazing thing was nobody knew about it. And I think it was about a couple of days or a week to a couple of days before the wedding, we had changed the whole setup of it. So I ended up actually singing the song at my wedding instead of having "Here Comes the Bride" like every other Catholic wedding. And there I was standing with a mic singing while the bride walked down, and she's like, "Okay, but no choice, I gotta walk down towards this guy that's singing there." So she was like smiling, and my knees were knocking because it was purely a cappella. My knees was the only thing that was adding a difference to the tune there, because I could hear the drum beats all the way through my heart and the knocking of my knees. And I think the comfort thing about that was that it touched a lot of people in there. I don't know whether it was my singing that made them cry, whether it was that bad, or whether the storyline of the poem caught their eyes, or whether it was the gesture of me standing there and singing that actually made them cry. But yeah, I think that was the one that I'd keep with me for a long time. And yes, it's in the Book of Dreams.
Would you like to read an extract for us?
The problem with it, when I start reading this thing, I end up start singing, and then it's like, no, do we really need to chase these people away? If you all want to know, I don't know the page numbers of every single poem here. I do not memorize them, and I don't. I like reading. Like Noshara asked me, have you went through the questions? Because you look very cool, and I said to him, you know what? I'll wing it. And he says, that's you. So I'm going to wing this here. Okay. It's called the Wedding March. As you walk down the aisle with your daddy, holding hands, walking towards me. So much love in those eyes. Girl, that's all that I can see. So much love for you and me. I plan to share my life with you. Forever, I promise to be true. Because you are the only love for me. And in my heart, there's only you. So come join me now at the altar, where our vows together we shall take. And the blessings from above shall shower upon our love and make it strong. This love within, make it strong, this love indeed. Because together, that's where we belong. And forever, I pray our love stays strong. Because I love you with all my heart, right from the very start. Couldn't do a part of it. Like,
Can we get you to sing a bit later?
you could try. Zubair will probably shoot me first.
Okay, well that was absolutely beautiful. It's like hearing it for the first time.
After you read it.
Yeah, after I read it, yeah. So, what advice would you give to aspiring poets, to young poets that are trying to make it out there in the market or planning to get their work out there?
Okay, this is to scare you a little, as well as give you the confidence, is that poetry is not easily sold. But what I've learned from the marketing side is that, unlike a novel, so for a novel to be a bestseller, you gotta sell like about 1,000 copies. Am I right, Nosha? Maybe you can tell me about this is right as well. And for a poet to get a bestseller, they only need to sell is like about 100 copies. So imagine that, 100 copies to be a bestseller. You may not get the recognition outside regards to be classified as a bestseller, but that is the reality of it. So if you feel that you have something that you want to share, remember, you have a bestseller in it. All you need to do is sell 100 copies. But selling those 100 copies needs to make a difference. It needs to catch the attention of the people that are there. You also need to share your inner emotions, because that's what poetry is all about. Every song that you hear stems from a poem. So remember that what you write is what people sing about. So as a poet, you have actually a vast exposure into the world. And I started actually with singing country songs, listening to country songs. Because I always thought that country songs have the best storyline ever. It's about heartbreak, it's about love, it's about even a man's truck. He sits there with a rod and fish and he sings about it. So it's things that you enjoy, things that you like. Hence the reason why I always say a poem is similar to a country life and a country story. So never ever look at it as though you will not be able to sell 1,000 copies. Once you sell that first 100 copies, remember your books are going to flow after that. And I bear testament to that is the fact that I am a self-published author. And when I started the journey, marketing was never in my wheelhouse, nor did the publishing house have the marketing structure to do that. So I had to do that on my own. And to date, Book of Dreams, I can happily say I've sold over 200 copies. I've actually donated over 20 copies. And the reason why I say I donated those books were the best way to get your work out there is to share it, even though it may not be financially beneficial at the start, but it will eventually turn into a little bit of a bestseller. Dreams of Life, I already sold close to 180 copies of them. So in my hands, I've already got 2 bestsellers, which I can proudly say to myself, Mervin, you've done it. Tap on your back. And that was purely due to perseverance, chasing after my dream, and not listening to any negative vibes. Keep what is in your heart and follow what is in your heart. You're gonna stumble, you're gonna fall, you're gonna eventually make it. Remember, to make an omelette, you're gonna have to break that egg shell. So break the egg shell. You may not get a good omelette, but at least you're gonna have something that people can see, people can watch, people can hear, and people can taste.
And being a published author now, that must be so exciting and such a big achievement. How would you say that those close to you and those around you have reacted to that?
Being a published author for me hasn't changed anything. My lifestyle hasn't changed, my people or the family around me hasn't changed. It's not something that I boast about because it's something that I appreciate. If I've been to places where people say that you are like a celebrity, and I say no. It's not about that. It's about making a difference. It's about sharing your work. It's about enlightening people. So, for me, the only rock star is in my shower where I sing to myself.
And if any of us wanted to purchase both of your beautiful books, how can they get in contact with you?
I had to put up a big banner here so nobody can forget what it is about. So these are my platforms that the books are on. From a sales point of view, I'm with multi-marketing, which I'm proud to say was a good deal that I've actually went on to, seeing that it's much easier to have somebody else doing all the hard work and running around instead of me as an author writing and running around. So that's what's due to me. Then over to Noshad Khan. The books are on sale. They are here actually. I think we've put up a 10% off anyone who wishes to purchase the book. So that's a good sign for everybody that's here. You get to enjoy a 10% off. But yeah, we can always contact me as well. on all our platforms, and we do set.
Now that you have 2 published books, can we expect any more work from you?
In fact, I've got 3 published books.
3, sorry, my bad.
Sorry, Nosha. That was a book of anthology. The third one, that was actually 2 of my poems were selected and featured in the anthology of 2024 for multi-marketing. Yes, I am actually busy working on my 3rd soul book. Third one is actually an anthology that is a collaboration with other authors in South Africa, which I'm proud to be part of. There was, I think, close on 20 authors where their works was put together, and I really appreciate what Nosha does for these authors out there. The 3rd book that I'm working on is also going to be featured soon. It's called Life, Dreams and Challenges. So if you look at it, I'm still keeping with the dreams. Dreams is something that I've always been pushing and chasing. So I keep those titles in my book. Life, it's about everything that we journey through. So it's also good that most of my books, stories are about the life itself. And then challenges, well, that is purely because of ZNM pushing me through all those challenges, and a lot of challenges that was given to me that I've met. So yes, that's currently I'm sitting with 75 poems. My ultimate goal is to put 100. First book has 44 poems, second has 90 poems. So we want to do one better. We want to go with 100 poems for the third book of anthology, which we're hoping to get done before the end of this year. And also added to that, I'm busy writing a novel. I said to myself, let's try something different. Let's do a novel. I'm 10 chapters into the novel. The reason why I stopped the novel is not because of writer's block, but because I want to get the poetry book out first. First and foremost, I am an author of poetry, and I want to make sure that I do not lose that section that I'm focusing on. And poetry will be always number one. The novel is actually a love story. Guys, I'm a poet, so I've got to write something romantic. So yes, that's currently what I'm busy with.
Okay, great. I look forward to reading both of them as soon as it's released. I hope I'm the first.
Well, I think you sitting here is testament of that. The reason why I've actually got Bianca sitting in here was that she did the review, as she said, for both my books, and she was a booksticker, or she is a booksticker. So one of the things that I did promise her, I said to her that she will have the opportunity to do an interview, a live interview with me. And today was an ideal opportunity. So I'm giving her that opportunity to spread her wings a little, where she can start doing some interviews with authors. She reads a lot of books. Now she gets to meet the authors, she can get to speak to the authors, and she gets to engage with the authors. That way she can actually grow a little. And this is something that I like doing. I like to help people, motivate people, give them that platform to grow. So, as I say, being an author is one thing, but it's not all about me. It's all about sharing, it's all about helping, and it's all about projecting in other people's dreams as well, so that we can actually have a united front when it comes to literacy.
Thank you. I'm also going to learn to speak a little bit louder. Thank you for joining us for this interview as well, and for hosting this wonderful event. I'd like to hand over to Zini now, but I'll see you all back in a bit.
Thank you.